something else I wanted to talk about, which is hilarious. So as you know, I fucking love Elden Ring. And as you know, Ubisoft is amazing when it comes to microtransactions, battle passes, all that different shit. But long story short, we'll watch the video talking about it. But yeah, devs are genuinely mad. Thank you again for the sub. But they're literally mad because Elden Ring is too good. They're mad because their games are shit and Elden Ring is just too good. Elden Ring is a flat $60, no microtransactions, no battle pass. Literally, you buy the game, it's fresh out of the box. There's barely any bugs on release. Like you get it's a game that when you buy it, you get everything for that $60. You don't just buy it and then, you also got to get the battle pass. You also got to get the membership for $10 a month. You got to get all this other shit. So they're mad. They're basically mad because Elden Ring did what games used to do back in the day, where games were way better back in the day. They honestly were. Because back in the day, you pay that flat amount of money, you get everything. You just get it. Like, that's the game. That's why I love Risk of Rain 2 as well. There's no microtransactions. The only cosmetics you get are just because you're good at the game and you beat the game on a hard mode. There's no dumb battle pass, none of that shit. Like Risk of Rain 2 and Elden Ring, best games around right now, straight up.
A lot of buzz about Elden Ring on social media lately, not only because the game was just so successful and so many people are sharing their experiences about some of the crazy things that can happen in the game, but there are aspects of the conversation that unfortunately have turned sour after certain developers decided to take to Twitter to lambast the fact that the game was so critically successful because they had certain issues with aspects of the game's UX, its stability and performance, and its quest design. And there are criticisms here.
Can we talk about the quest design for a second? Another reason why Elden Ring is way better than any game right now. Quest line bullshit. So the thing I love about Souls games, which Elden Ring expanded on exponentially when it comes to Elden Ring, there's no quest log. There's no map icons. There's no here's you got to go here, then you got to go here, then you got to go here type shit. There's not like a little quest thing in the top right corner that says go talk to this guy, collect this item, 0 out of 1 items collected type shit. Literally, all you do is you talk to people. The way I say quest is funny. Quest. What's funny? What am I saying? But basically, the reason the game's so fucking good is the fact that you don't know where to go. Is you have to explore to get it. You know what I mean? Like everything, every quest. You have to listen to every piece of dialogue. You have to understand what they're saying. They give you a general location, like a general idea of where to go, and you got to go and search. And that's what makes a game so much more fun instead of just go here, go here, go here. You know what I mean? Your quest is moist. How is my quest moist? How am I saying quest weird? Anyway, yeah, Elden Ring, that's another reason why Elden Ring is so much better than most games. Because someone made a comparison. Shut up about Quest. Someone made a comparison to the new Horizon Zero Dawn game because the map has a buttload of markers. Like a crap load. Like it's just exploded with markers, whereas on Elden Ring all you have is the grace marks and then a few little locations and that's it. No escorting missions, that too. Why do games have escorting missions? Why? It's stupid.
Here that are fair. The game UX isn't perfect. There are things about it that I'd like to see improved. And UX stands for user experience, by the way. User interfaces, UI, that's kind of the visual representation of the UX.
I disagree. I disagree highly. The UI is perfect because it shows so little. You have to pay attention to what you're doing. Jack 2 had an escort mission that I hated. I remember that one. Assassin's Creed tailing missions. Whoever came up with that is the dumbest developer. I'm sorry. You're stupid.
If that makes sense. UX being just the kind of the intuitiveness of how features of the game work, if that makes sense. Stability and performance, that's definitely a major issue. That's the biggest blemish this game has that I hope FromSoft will resolve soon.
Which they did. They resolved very quick, way quicker than most developers I've seen. Don't get me wrong, there's still plenty of bugs, but hell, from how huge that game is, you better be expecting that they got to fix a lot of things. But yeah, they fixed it very quick.
PC graphics, I don't get the complaint. If referring to fidelity specifically, the game still looks gorgeous. Art style trumps graphics every time, in my opinion. Now, if referring to PC graphics settings, then yeah, on that front, there are certain things lacking, like ultra-wide support and, you know, unlocking the frame rate and stuff like that.
Okay, I'm sorry I keep pausing, but you notice that the only things that they're complaining about has nothing to do with the actual game itself and has to do with fixable problems.
Which is fair. Quest design for me, the way Elden Ring does it isn't worse. It's just different and may not be for everyone, but doesn't make it objectively worse.
It's not as good.
This one I don't quite agree with. But criticisms are one thing, but it's just more the expression of like the fact that Elden Ring scored a 97 Metacritic is proof that reviewers don't give a flaming poop about these flaws that we notice. My life.
So this guy's literally complaining that has a 97 and he doesn't like the UI. So literally everything else in the game means nothing. But since he doesn't like the UI, no, it does not deserve a 97 because of one feature I dislike.
Life is a lie, and the fact that these developers are...
And by the way, these are all... Okay, anyway, yeah, these are all developers, by the way. Like, those people that are in the picture right now saying the dumb shit that they don't like about Elden Ring are all Ubisoft developers and Guerrilla developers.
They're almost like agreeing that Elden Ring doesn't deserve to be as critically successful as it is because there are certain issues that they have with aspects of the game. Just, I feel like, ignores not only the totality of the experience of Elden Ring, which has enough pros to outshine the cons, but also it feels like they're being salty. It feels like they're being petty and almost like trying to throw Elden Ring under the bus. And to me, the intent does feel mean-spirited, especially if you look at this screenshot of another tweet by the same developer who said,
Elden Ring's UX is so bad that I can only imagine FromSoft's devs smoking at their desks and using CRT monitors. He got ratioed by a furry. He got ratioed by a furry. Oh, man, you know you're doing something wrong when you get ratioed by a furry. You know you fucked up when you got ratioed by a furry named Foxy Scrambles.
Elden Ring's UX is so bad that I can only imagine FromSoft's devs smoking at their desks and using CRT monitors. This isn't criticism. This is just straight up mean-spirited attack against the actual developers. And
I do like the
saltiness of these tweets are pretty apparent. And the end result is that this has all led to a whole lot of backlash. And people have been pointing out things like how this is a Ubisoft developer and this is a Guerrilla developer, both of who have released open-world games, who kind of follow the same formulaic open-world style that has become a bit too commonplace, a bit too stagnant. Though I do think Horizon Forbidden West actually takes that formula and does it right and does it really well, but
I disagree. I'm sorry. Okay. The reason I don't like the map icons, like the bunch of map icons, is it restricts your curiosity and it restricts your exploration. Because I feel like the fact that you don't know anything makes you explore everything in the open world. I've like a lot of open world games. Sometimes I don't have the want as much to explore a different area because it's like, you know, I see where I need to go. You know, I see exactly where I need to go, or like, I don't know. I feel like it ruins the curiosity and the fun.
But it could still feel somewhat formulaic here and there, in my opinion. And so coming from them saying that, you know, Elden Ring...
Yeah, Horizon is the game that a bunch of men got mad that woman wasn't womanly enough. Fucking internet.
Doesn't deserve its big score, or that reviewers don't seem to care about certain flaws, ignoring what Elden Ring does accomplish from an open world design standpoint and not being able to at least give it credit before criticizing the things that, you know, can be criticized.
And it's such
that's
a
where a lot
dumb
of people
thing to
took issue.
criticize.
It's more about the attitude of the criticism rather than the criticism itself. And that has instigated tweets like this. I founded the Elden Ring with the good UX, which...
I saw this tweet the other day. This is the shit I'm talking about. This is the shit I'm talking about. Like, you have this, like the hot bar, the tarnished. Maybe I should investigate that cave. X to activate tarnished sense. Enemies detected. It Limgrave gives you the location. There's like icons of like question mark quests everywhere. There's a quest log in the side. Yeah, this is literally what it would be. I know they're like memeing a little bit, like they're going a little bit overboard as a joke, but genuinely, this is like what they would go for. This is what a good UI that people think. I don't know why every developer thinks they need to spoon feed everything to like a person who plays a game. Like, you don't need to spoon feed every little bit. It ruins it.
Which has garnered over 80,000 likes. And what sucks about the approach of criticism here is that these few developers who don't necessarily represent the companies or studios as a whole have caused backlash against the studios as a whole. I don't believe all of Guerrilla thinks this way. It's just one Guerrilla developer who said this. I don't think all of you...
Where did he get... Hello? Where did he get this? Where did he get... I want that. What? I want that.
Ubisoft's developers think this way. It's just this one guy who had this take to share. And what this has caused is just the flaming of tribalism, and now people are suddenly attacking studios and saying, oh, this game's better and that game's better, and, you know, Elden Ring deserves this, and screw Horizon Forbidden West, when, you know, I feel like both games can coexist, and the conversation doesn't have to turn into this, like, war between Elden Ring community and Horizon community, or, you know, Elden Ring...
What's it called? This is Iron Hand.
Enthusiasts versus Horizon enthusiasts. Like, both games can coexist. They have both their own takes on open world design. I don't think that the more formulaic open world design has to go away entirely. I think multiple kinds of open world formats can exist. It's just refreshing what Elden Ring does, because all open world games have become lately is some sort of that Ubisoft formula, and that's kind of the main thing that I drive. But I'm ultimately glad that Horizon Forbidden West resonated with tons of people, and I've met people.
Like, think about, for example, Dying Light 2. Think about if you didn't have, to be fair, I haven't played the game. Maybe it's different. I don't know. But this thing about not having a quest log. Think about having to actually listen to everything that the characters tell you. Listen to the lore. Because I don't know about you guys, but whenever I play a game and it just gives you quests and quest logs, and you go here, you grab that, you come back, I don't listen to the dialogue because I don't care. They're just going to give me a location to go to, and then I do something there. And it says in the top right, kill blank amount of blanks. You need to acquire 3 blanks or something like that. What if the situation was that you didn't have that quest log, and you have to actually listen to what they're saying and know what to do? That makes it more involving. It makes it more immersive. It makes it more fun. Exactly. You have to make your own quest log. It makes it more immersive. Like, you feel more a part of the game instead of just skipping all the things they say to you and just rushing to the location that you need to go. I don't know. It ruins it. Because maybe along the way, you start going to a different area that you've never even knew existed.
Michigan!
Thank you, Ed. People both who prefer Elden Ring or who prefer Horizon Forbidden West, but still respect and appreciate the other. But the conversation has turned into people flaming studios and the other game because of how these developers approach the criticism that has caused this conversation to heat up a bit too much. Now, on the other side of things, you've got a former Ubisoft developer who's spoken out about the way these developers approach their criticism, and who agreed with audiences saying that AAA open world games have become a bit too formulaic and a bit too stale. And I'd like to read this take, which is different from these developers and kind of, I think, represents the other side of things. Here's what he had to say. Let it be heard, let it be noted that I lament greatly and with satisfaction that the Ubisoft formula that is permeated into all major AAA open world games is tired and rote, from quest design to UX, everything about it. And I do agree with this. Even Horizon Forbidden West, to a degree, gave me that sense, even though the game did a good version of this formula where it wasn't stuffed to the brim with...
Also, another thing, open world games are overdone right now. No, boring open world games are overdone because... Okay, let me think. What was I forget what I was going to say. Oh God.
In West, to a degree, gave me that sense, even though the game...
Okay. Stop making movies with gameplay. That's what I was going to say. I hate movies with gameplay. Just make a movie. Because, please. Like, I hate, you walk to one spot, you get like a 5-minute cutscene, walk to another spot, 5-minute cutscene, walk to another spot, 5-minute cutscene. It's like, I get it. Like, I do get it. But it's too much sometimes. You know, it's too much sometimes. We care too much about graphics where it just turns into a movie. Works with having quest logs, though, because you're distracted by the difficult parkour as well as the stress of the choice making, because the game differs so much based on what you choose to do in every quest. I mean, I disagree, but I mean, yeah, you could think that. Like, obviously you could disagree with me. I disagree with that, but I think it would do better with less information. Not gonna lie, Half-Life did cutscenes the best. Cutscenes in gameplay graphics I like. What do you mean you disagree? I haven't even played it. Dying Light 2 is Dying Light 1 with extra parkour. Do you really think I need to? Yeah, Dying Light 2 is literally just Dying Light 1. I've seen the game. I've seen played by many people. I know. I'm not an idiot. Minecraft story mode, LOL.
Game did a good version of this formula where it wasn't stuffed to the brim with very grindy and very generic feeling activities and quests. It didn't feel like the game overstayed its welcome. The graphics were beautiful and it had all these great things going for it, but it still followed that formula, whereas Elden Ring, for me, felt like it just did something really that felt refreshing.
Exactly.
This former Ubisoft...
Story and gameplay are better than graphics. I'm so tired of games like... Don't get me wrong. It is amazing seeing incredible graphics like that like, for example, racing games, like sim driving games. Those are cool. Like, that's cool as shit to have graphics incredible. Like, the realism, it has a purpose. The realism has a purpose. But I feel like we've almost peaked at the point of graphics where it's like, it's so hard to even get better than where we are. It's like, at this point, why even get better? We're focusing way less on gameplay and focusing more on graphics. And every time a game comes out, all we hear about is graphics this, graphics that. Did you see this? Did you see that? Look at Elden Ring. Genuinely, I don't even think graphical-wise it's that good. But when it comes to art style, when it comes to the style of the game, when it comes to the scale of the game and seeing stuff off in the distance, it's way prettier than games with insane graphics, just because the art style is better. But the graphics on Fortnite feat, true. Yeah, that's the thing. You don't have to you don't have to play Elden Ring. Like, the game's amazing, but I get people who don't want to play it because you don't have the patience for it, patience to learn the game.
Developer continued, I just hate that every major AAA open world game has the same quest design, has the same checkpointing, has the same waypointing, all the same bells and whistles. And this really goes to show that not all developers necessarily feel that the Ubisoft formula or the traditional open world formula that's all open world games has become is strictly the way to go. There are developers out there who are seeking to drive more ambitious risks and ambitious designs that kind of break away from the mold that so many games have stuck with, so that refreshing and compelling experiences like Elden Ring can kind of rise to the top. But of course, ground floor developers don't get to necessarily define the direction of the game. That's up to executives and creative heads and, you know, whatever their goals might be with a game. But it just feels like games played a bit too safe, a bit too often, and that's where I do.
Like that's why, I mean, to be fair, I've been saying this for so long, is I wish game developers would go back to just making games more based around just making the game good than anything else. Like the gameplay good, the world building good, and stuff. But like we focus too much on graphics. We focus too much on the cosmetic. Like, I don't know. We focus on the wrong things. Was fun for me and everyone played with, but I do agree. I've never cared if a game looks realistic. I wouldn't mind average looking game with amazing gameplay. Like look at Risk of Rain. Graphical wise, it's pretty average. But when it comes to the art style of Risk of Rain, it's beautiful. You know what I mean?
Do agree with this. And I just wish it would stop. I'm thankful for
Too scared to disappoint their audience? Look at Elden Ring. They did everything that game developers aren't doing and are too afraid to do.
Like Breath of the Wild, which was doing a good job of breaking the mold, though it still had its hands in the Ubisoft formula. And now Elden Ring pushing
Breath of the Wild
as
was
the
pretty good with
antithesis
that
to the standard open world format. Listen, I enjoy all these games. I'm going to list, but there is definitely a problem when they all feel so samey. Ghost of Tsushima, Assassin's Creed, Horizon, Halo Infinite, Far Cry, etc. And yeah, I actually do concur there. Even Ghost of Tsushima, which was my game of the year in the year that the game came out, could feel formulaic, but there are so many things that made up for that, like the combat just being amazing, the visuals, especially the way the foliage makes the world feel like it's breathing with how it's constantly swaying, the design of the world, and I like the story personally, and there's so many good facets of that game that made up for the fact that it was somewhat formulaic, and I think there's so much potential for these franchises to kind of expand their horizons when it comes to open world design.
Yeah, I honestly really hope that Elden Ring changes a lot of devs' minds and makes them realize what they could do. Because Elden Ring blew every other game out of the water. Like, not only when it came to just how good it is, but also when it came to sales. So I'm hoping that game developers will realize, like, oh, gamers like good games, not just graphics.
And pave the road to something that evokes a bit more engagement from players instead of this sense of constantly being handheld and navigated. Alex finished off with, instead of always doubling down on what has the best mass market appeal and always doing exactly what the mass market...
Because it stayed true to its fan base. I disagree. It doesn't matter that they stayed true to their fan base. The amount of new players in Elden Ring there are way more new players than players that are coming from Dark Souls in Elden Ring. It's probably like 70% new players, 30% Dark Souls players. Let's be real. Like, it is like drastically reached out to new players because honestly, it's the most accessible Dark Souls type game.
Expects, please start taking more risks. Indeed. When Demon's Souls
like being
was first proposed and, you know, as the game
Halo
was being made,
slow. I don't really like Halo.
Everyone thought this game was going to flop, including Sony, the publisher. They did not like this game. They just wanted to get it out there and get it over with, but it ended up being a risk worth taking. It kickstarted a whole new subgenre, which I think peaks with Elden Ring, with how the open world design has been so well integrated with that formula. And I wish there would be more risks like that. But because publishers like to play it safe, because they know safe brings them money, that's where creativity gets stifled. That's where it feels like it takes too long for new boundaries to be pushed and new molds to be broken in. We like the comfort food, but at this moment, the entire buffet is just one type of bread. This is a great way to put it. Again, it's okay to have more comfort food-based, more accessible open world with, you know, map markers and that are more navigated, like Horizon Forbidden West or like Assassin's Creed or Ghost of Tsushima or all these other games. But we just need a bit more variance because it's all been comfort food as far as open world design goes, and that's where I do agree.
And I go back to Risk of Rain a lot when it comes to this too. Is they're just a pure, straight up good game. Like, it's just good, straight up. Like, that's it. It's just an amazing game. And it doesn't have all this AAA title shit. and it doesn't. Yeah, the replayability behind it is amazing too. But it's just like they just keep putting out stuff that is creative and unique and different, and it just does well. Like I think it was actually number 2 next to Elden Ring, right? This month, I think, when they released their the Void Fields expansion. I think it was number 2 to Elden Ring, which is crazy.
Here. I'll leave
I've
this
never
open
played
for more
Wolfenstein.
things I have to say and just keep it in this thread. But yeah, it really does bug me. And I do like this developer's take because this is actually a more nuanced take compared to just a simple, why does this game get so much praise from reviewers who don't seem to care about flaws? Whereas this developer is looking at it from like, there are good things about all of these games, but can we just vary it up a little bit? Can we not just pretend like the Assassin's Creed formula, the Ubisoft open world formula is the only way to do it? And Ubisoft especially has been called out quite a bit after the Ubisoft developer here called out Elden Ring, which is ironic coming from a developer working for a company whose, UX and overall game design has become so stale, so complacent to its design to the point where all of their games feel kind of the same. And so when it comes to the community, you will see people talking about how if Elden Ring was a Ubisoft game, you would have paid real money in their store to get the stone.
Okay, that's actually true. That's actually true. Oh my god. That's hilarious. I didn't even think about that.
Sword key. For those who don't know what this is an item that you have to find. There are
like this guy sub to him now. I will. Yeah, I like this guy.
Number of them scattered throughout.
He's not wrong. Yeah. So for those who don't know, the Stone Sword key unlocks like blocked off areas, and you buy them with souls or runes. Sorry, I'm used to saying souls, but you buy them with runes or find them randomly around the map, and it unlocks blocked off locations that are like more secret, and they give you like cool items and stuff.
The world, you'll find them, by opening up treasure chests, by looting them from corpses, by defeating enemies, you name it. You have to look for these, and these open certain sort of secret dungeons or little secret areas where you'll find cool new rewards like lootable chests that will yield new weapons and new rewards, new items, whatnot. These are important to sort of the side activities of the game. Now, while Jess here insists that these are jokes, and I doubt Ubisoft would actually charge money for something like the Stone Sword Key, but they do similar crap, I could not disagree with this take more. If Ubisoft had their hands on Elden Ring, they would absolutely allow you to earn the Stone Sword Keys in-game, but hey, we got this alternative where you can buy them in the store. Because these are
they would make the Stone Sword keys so rare and so hard to find. You would have to grind hours and hours for them. Or you could pay for our loot boxes and you could potentially get the Stone Sword key. You wouldn't even get the Stone Sword key. You could probably get like some cosmetics, and the Stone Sword key would probably just be a rare item. Like 100% they would do that.
Time savers, and they're optional, and we're just giving you the option to skip the compelling gameplay of exploration and of finding these, and then like going through this cycle of wonder and discovery and unlocking these. They're not really time savers. They are a solution to an intentionally introduced grind problem, or they're basically a giant pay money to skip compelling content.
They would also have a thing where you could pay money for runes. Like pay $50 for 1,000,000 runes. Get to level 50 instantly. Or probably like level 70, actually. Actually, hell, probably 100. I don't know. It'd be
content of the game button. And that's one area where Horizon Forbidden West and games like that stand above the Ubisoft games, even though they kind of follow the same formula. Horizon Forbidden West wasn't designed around microtransactions and around grindy content. It was paced just right. It's a game.
Can you just make a podcast dedication on one day of your stream to just complain about games? I would watch. I would love to do that. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of complaints. Just me just complaining about all these games. Yeah. This man's background looks like a messy basement 11-year-old boy. Dude, his background is fucking sick. Are you kidding me? Are you joking? Look, I'm jealous of his background. I would love all this stuff.
game with integrity, whereas games like Assassin's Creed, they do shove in microtransactions that either allow you to skip compelling content of the game or that try to resolve the intentionally introduced grindy aspect of a game and its various sort of grindy and monotonous activities. And that's what makes Elden Ring all the more refreshing. There's zero microtransactions. No aspect of the game feels like it was influenced by monetization. Everything just feels so well thought out and organic, and it just paves the road for an experience that feels ideal, like it was exactly what the developers envisioned, like it was really made out of love and not out of greed. And so that's why people are kind of going out of their way now that the Ubisoft developer has suddenly like criticized Elden Ring in a way that feels cynical and not constructive. Is why the community is putting stuff like this out, and now this poses up to, you know, over 22,000 upvotes, and this is kind of the conversation that's happening. They've kind of now rallied against Ubisoft, and that's what can happen when one developer decides to, in a way that feels salty, lambast another game's success when their own games just have fallen short in areas where Elden Ring really rises above and beyond. And here's the thing, even the community acknowledges that there are aspects of Elden Ring to criticize. When it comes to UX, for example, it was noted right here, PSA, you can sort the inventory for the love of God, make this top so others see it. And literally in my last video, I was talking about how the game could use at least like a recent items tab or something, because the inventory in Elden
They do have a recent items tab, by the way. They actually do. You just have to sort. It's really not that... It is... Okay. I will admit, finding out that you could pause the game, you know, finding out... I don't know. I like it. I like the fact that you have to figure out... I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird, but I love the fact that they don't spoon feed you everything. You kind of just got to figure it out yourself. Am I bad at saying that? Because it is weird to actually get to sorting your different equipment, and there's all these like little extra quick steps that you can do to make it easier to sort through stuff. Recent item tab sounds weirdly satisfying, and they have it, but it's called, I think, something by acquisition. What is it called? Yeah, order of acquisition.
So others see it. And literally in my last video, I was talking about how the game could use at least like a recent items tab or something, because the inventory in Elden Ring quickly gets filled up, and when you find a new item, you often find yourself having to look for it, so you can either use it or read its description to see what it does. Well, it is highlighted here how there is a feature where you can press the L1 button to sort the game by order of acquisition, but it is not listed in the help section. So look, there are aspects of the UX to criticize. The community even criticizes the UX and aspects of it in some way. But are these aspects all so detrimental that the game doesn't deserve the high praise it gets for where it does shine?
I want my money back. The fact that that isn't available, the fact that I have to search for order of acquisition, I have to actually go and look for the order of acquisition, I want my money back. This game sucks, man.
Above and beyond so many other open world games? I don't think so. Does it deserve this tone of criticism, this level of...
I like how he hovered over a dude named Joe Longballs.
And saltiness or pettiness or jealousy, whatever you want to call it, where it feels like they're underplaying the game's success rather than just saying, here are some areas where I have
imagine having to do something yourself.
I don't think this is the right approach. I hope that this kind of approach to communication isn't something that becomes commonplace. I do like Alex's take here, this former Ubisoft dev who is respectful but direct about his criticism surrounding why this feedback isn't helpful or constructive, or how open world games these days have become complacent, and a Ubisoft dev who has worked on games that are very formulaic, you know, just sort of
also he pretty much said everything that he was gonna say, but another thing I want to talk about is people saying the game, you know, like new people coming in the game saying it's too freaking hard, all that different stuff. It's not, because Elden Ring is the most accessible Dark Souls games, because there is a way to make the game easy.
Nice shoot.
Thank you so much, So Alexandria. The fact that it's open world and the fact that you could just use sorcery. Like, it's really not hard to make the game easy. I would not easy, but easier. If you go sorcery and go farm souls, level up. Like, if you get to like level, you could literally get to level 90 before the first story boss. If you wanted to, you could. Like, if you really wanted to, you could just farm runes, get to level 90, and face the first boss and annihilate everyone in the game. If you wanted to make the game easy, all you got to do is grind. But, you know, if you're like me, who plays Souls games and is used to the combat, like it's pretty easy to get, not easy, but, you know, like I could deal with facing hard bosses on a lower level. But it is accessible for people. Elden Ring speedrun, someone actually beat the game in an hour. That already happened. Someone beat the game in an hour. Which is insane. Yeah, exactly. For me, the difficulty and the challenge is the fun part. That's why I love these games. Some people don't like a challenge, which I get.
Now it's time to walk away. I hope you enjoyed your stay. Did you laugh or cry or maybe subscribe? I'll thank you either way. You know I will miss you. I hope you return. Tell your friend or your mother to get me more views.